Hey YouTube, today we're going to talk about how I take care of my blued handguns. And before we get started, I'm going to let you know that none of these handguns are loaded, and as I pick them up, I will show you that are clear to make this video. So I've had a bunch of people ask me how I take care of these blued guns and how I keep them looking so nice. And I've tried to tell a few people in the comments, it's nothing really fancy that I do, but I'm going to do a dedicated video to let you know what I do. So we're going to start off with this Colt Gold Cup National Match, and this gun was made in around the mid 1970s, and this is when Colt was really putting a nice blue finish on these. It's really hard to beat a Colt blue finish, but I intentionally picked out these here because these are the nicest finished guns, and we'll go over what all of them are here in a second. But I want you to look at the fingerprints on this gun and everything, and I'm going to show you how I just remove the fingerprints and store them. But this is a Colt Gold Cup National Match Series 70 from the mid 1970s. The next one we're going to look at is a Colt Series 70 Government model from around the same time period. This is from the mid 1970s, and this one's also got equally as good of a finish. If you look at it real close, you'll see that there's no flaws or anything in it, but you can see some of the fingerprints on it, and we'll get to that. We'll address that here in a second. The next one we're going to look at is a Smith & Wesson 586. This is a no-dash 586, and this is also a blued finish. Gorgeous finish on older Smith & Wessons. This was one of the first ones because it's a no-dash, and you'll see there's fingerprints on them and everything. Next one down, it's going to, well, not the next one down. This is going to be a 586-4. This is very similar to the one I just showed you, only this is a 4-inch configuration, and it's got a round butt on it. Other than that, it's pretty much the same gun. We'll flip it over and show you the finish on them. Smith & Wesson did a really nice job in the 1980s and early on when they were building all these pre-lock revolvers. And last but not least, this is a 1970 Colt Python, and with the royal blue finish on it, it looks like a disaster because it's got so many fingerprints on it, but I'll flip it over and show you all the fingerprints. It's really hard to show blued guns on camera, but I always tell you any imperfections are just fingerprints and oils, and we're going to tell you how we take care of those. So basically, when I take any of these guns to the range, and yes, I take them all to the range when I go. I don't take these particular ones every single time. I can't take everything I have to the range every time I go, but every gun I have gets fired. I take them home, and if it's an automatic gun, I field strip it. If it's a revolver, it really doesn't require that. I just open the cylinder, and I cannot demonstrate this on camera with the new YouTube policies, but I don't use anything special, folks. I just use Hoppe's, gun bore cleaner. I clean the entire thing, clean all the carbon off of it, scrub it down with gun patches and a soft brush, and remove all the carbon from it with Hoppe's. It does a great job. It does not harm any of the blue finish or anything like that, and I swear by this stuff. I know a lot of people use different stuff, and that's fine, but I'm just telling you, I've been asked this a million times, so I'm going to go through what I do. So I scrub this down with Hoppe's, and then when I'm done cleaning it up, I dry it all off and everything with a cloth, and then all the lube points, all your normal lube points are going to be different on every single gun. I just use regular rim oil. I know a lot of people use the Ballistol that has the lube in it and also the cleaner. That's just not what I do. I make sure that all the lube points are taken care of with this rim oil, and any excess that runs out of like the slides or anything like this, I kind of wipe it down the side of the guns on them. And then last but not least, the final step, which I will swear by, is these silicone injected cloths, and I use the ones from Wilson Combat. I know you can pick any other brand, but this is just the ones that I happen to use. They're made by Wilson Combat. So all these guns are basically clean right now. We're going to pick them up one at a time and show you what these silicone cloths do. So this is the Gold Cup. If you look at it real close, because the finishes on it, and you can see closely if you look all the fingerprints on them and stuff like that. This side looks really bad if you look. It's got all this smudges and everything on them. So we're just going to take this silicone cloth after it's been cleaned, and it has been cleaned, and all I'm going to do is wipe it. Just wipe all the flat surfaces with it and flip it over. Just wipe this down, and it doesn't seem to smear, smudge, or anything like that. And just wipe everything, including the grips, including the wood grips. It works really well for that. Just wipe this down with a silicone cloth, and like I said, I choose the Wilson Combat ones, but you can choose any brand that you want. A lot of people make them of the brands. And look at this gun when you wipe it down. I mean, it is absolutely looks like a mirror. You don't see all these fingerprints and stuff on them, and it just does a great job when you use these silicone injected cloths. So we'll go to the next one. I'm going to do these one by one and show you, because some of these were pretty bad. I'm going to show you the side view of this one, this Government model Series 70. You see all the fingerprints and stuff on them, but you can still see the shining in the blue. We're going to take this Wilson Combat cloth and just wipe it down. Nothing, I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary except for just wiping through the fingerprints, and it leaves the silicone coating on it and everything. I'm going to wipe all the grips, everything down, and just give it a quick wipe down. And when you're done with it, you're left with a beautiful finish, no fingerprints or anything like that. And you keep these things in a a climate controlled area. Mine's in a climate controlled safe in my home. There's no moisture or anything like that in it, and they all just end up looking like a mirror if you look at them. Now we'll move on to the next one. We'll move on to this Smith 586 no dash. This one's not as bad, but there is a few fingerprints on them right here and there. So let's just take this cloth and wipe it down. Just run the cloth down. There's nothing special about this, folks, that I'm doing. Just wipe it down. It doesn't make a greasy mess like coating them with oil. I've seen some of these people that absolutely cover these guns with oil and then store them, and that's not really necessary. If you just maintain them and make sure that they're not dried up, and storing them with a ton of fingerprints on them and stuff like that, you'll be pretty good to go. But just wipe that on all the surface equally with this silicone rag, and that's how they turn out. All the fingerprints are gone on it, and you have a beautiful shine, and you have a well protected surface when you're done. So we'll move on to the next one here. Same deal. This is Smith & Wesson 586-4 357 Magnum round butt. We're going to wipe this one down, all the fingerprints off of it with the Wilson Combat silicone cloth. And I keep stressing the Wilson Combat, but you really don't have to follow that to the T. There's a bunch of companies, like I said, that make these silicone injected cloths. I just always thought these just worked really well, and if something's not broke, don't fix it. But there's how the 586 turns out. It looks almost absolutely perfect. And all these guns, like I said, have been fired. None of these are quote-unquote safe queens, like people like to call them, and they all get fired. This one's going to look the worst. It's got the most fingerprints on it because it's got the best bluing on it. This is a 1970 royal blue Colt Python, and make sure you look really close here at all these fingerprints. This thing just looks horrible. It's hard to get it to show up. It seems like when I don't want fingerprints to show up, they show up real well. And when I'm trying to show you all these fingerprints all over this thing, it's hard for it to show up. But we're going to take this rag and just wipe this down with this silicone injected cloth. I'm going to do my best, keep this on camera, and we'll see how this Colt Royal Blue turns out. And I'm just doing a quick wipe through right where all the fingerprints are, and When I'm done wiping it down, I'm going to run it right to the camera really close, and you can see that it absolutely looks like a mirror now. There's no kind of fingerprints or anything on them. I'm trying not to touch it as much as I can while I'm filming this, but that's how the bluing turns out. And then you store it in a climate controlled safe or whatever kind of environment you want. Just make sure it's climate controlled and there's no moisture can get to it, and your guns will always look like this. And I recommend, you know, going in there about once a month, making sure that everything's tidied up. If you don't fire them a lot, make sure they're wiped down and good and oiled and all that, and your guns will always look like they're brand new. And you can go out and shoot them as much as you want, and they'll continue to look like this. It just pains me, the people that have these quote unquote safe queens, and they never shoot them, they never go out and enjoy them. I go out and enjoy every single one of these firearms, and they still all look brand new. And I know this because I get so many comments asking me, how do you take care of this? How do you get this bluing to look this good? Well, I just showed you folks. I mean, it's just very simple. These Colts especially have this special kind of bluing on them, this royal blue, the ones that were made, you know, the older ones in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. It just has this mirror-like finish on them, and all you have to do is just maintain them. Just make sure there's a slight layer of oil on them, and wipe them down with one of those silicone injected rags, and it will look like brand new forever, as long as you don't have any bluing wear on them, you know, and stuff like that. I just try and not abuse these guns. I don't baby them, but I surely do not abuse them. But anyway, folks, let me know how you take care of your blued guns, how you store them. There's nothing special about what I do, but every single one of these almost look in mint condition. They almost look brand new, and none of them are brand new. Every single one of these are old. The newest one here is this Smith & Wesson 586. This was probably made in, I don't know, the late 80s or so. I can't remember the exact date this one was made. And the oldest one here, I would say, is going to be this Colt Python that was made in 1970. And I have them all in between, all the different years and everything, you know, 1970, mid-1970s, early 1980s, and mid-1980s. So these are all, you know, 40-plus-year-old firearms, and they're all in absolutely impeccable condition, and I just take care of them. That's all I do. Nothing special to them. But let me know if you have any questions on the stuff that I use, how I do it. Let me know if you do it a little bit differently. Maybe I can learn something from you. But anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.